welcome to the Adoption Lounge. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Katie. Thank you so much for joining us again. And we have to do a post-Halloween.
We did a murder mystery dinner.
We did. It was delicious. So shout out to Kay for cooking all of the food. But in case you were ever wondering if we're all friends with each other, we voluntarily went in on the weekend to play a murder mystery game with each other, all dressed like we were going to 80s prom.
80s prom.
We are all genuinely friends. Who my twin sister was murdered.
Yeah, Katie was really torn up about it.
I think the worst part was I didn't even solve her murder.
No.
None of us did.
And her boss was the one that killed.
Lori, what gives? Like, explain yourself. But it was really fun. We had a great Halloween. My son dressed up as Pee Wee Herman, which was so cute. And I think everybody thought that we were, like, putting this on him. Even though it was 100% his decision. He's a huge Pee Wee Herman fan, and he looked so
It was
cute.
Adorable. He literally looked like a little Pee Wee Herman.
He did. What were your kids?
Well, my daughter was Poison Ivy, and she has like reddish hair.
Pictures of that yet.
I'll show you. And then my other teenage son, he was a Shrek head. And then the other one was a baseball player, which
is so clever. Clark's like, I have this already. Why didn't I just wear it?
So, and then my other one was, there was like this mask with like LED lights, and it changes. You can like swipe and it like changes. And
oh, that's cool.
It's actually really cool. And that's what he was. So he wasn't like a thing. He was just himself with a mask.
All the things.
Yeah. All the things.
All right, cool.
I was nothing because I don't like to dress up. So.
But she did dress up for 80s prom.
I did. I pencil curled our hair.
Hours pencil curling our hair. It was impressive.
It really was.
It looked really good, too.
It did. Katie's dress was adorable.
And actually, this is a funny little thing I wanted to say, but so I know when you have children, you have a little bit of bias, right? Like you tend to be like, my child is the most talented child or the most. So I walk in to drop my son off at my mom's house, fully wearing velvet and taffeta and pencil curl, covered in blush. And my mother takes one look at me and goes, "You look so pretty."
She wasn't wrong.
And I was like, I love knowing. I said this to her in the moment too. I was like, I love knowing that bias transfers in adoption as well. You
doesn't matter.
Can't see those kids clearly. So who are we talking to today?
Well, we are talking to Justin.
And Justin adopted with Lifelong, right?
Yes. Yes, he did. And he's gonna.
You're so quiet. So we'll get to hear his adoption story and also get to hear about kind of how that experience helped him to find a passion.
Yeah, which led to a career.
It led to a career, which is so cool.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So why don't you introduce yourself, Justin? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, I'm Justin. As you said, I adopted through Lifelong. Our son is now 8 years old, so he's been with us for a little over 6 years now. He's great, super smart. You guys were talking about being biased towards your own kids, and my first thought was like, yeah, my kid's the smartest, he's the greatest, and he dresses the best, you know?
Yes.
I totally get that. But yeah, as you were saying, my adoption journey has now morphed into a career, and I do life coaching for queer individuals and couples who are navigating their journey to become parents.
That's so awesome. And I'm really excited to kind of talk about that because I think it's something that some of our families could really benefit from. So why don't we start by you telling us all about your adoption journey? I also think it's really interesting because we haven't talked to a lot of families that have adopted an older child, not from infancy. And so I would love to hear that story. And then we can kind of launch into how that led you onto the path you're on today.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us first what led you to adoption and how you chose Lifelong?
Yeah.
So ever since I was young, I saw families with adopted kids, and I was like, that is the path that I want to take. It was before I was even out, before I even knew I was gay, right? I knew I wanted to adopt. And so when my husband and I started to have conversations around whether or not we wanted to have kids, we pretty much knew that adoption was the route we wanted to take. So we did our research, try to find the right agency, and we ultimately landed on Lifelong. We just felt like it was a great fit. The personalities we really connected with. if you will. So we went through the process, built our profile, all of those things, and now it was waiting for a match, right? And we went through 2 matches that ended up being what I call a mismatch. And eventually we were on a cruise in the middle of the Caribbean, no internet access, no cellular service, and we got a voicemail from our match specialist and immediately bought an internet package, started communicating with her.
You're like, let's not spend the money. And then you're like, we should
Yeah,
do this right
we're
immediately.
definitely spending the money because we want to have this opportunity. So we started speaking with her, and she said, this is kind of a different experience than we're used to, but we had a birth mom reach out to us who is absolutely passionate about adopting her kid out to a same-sex couple. And she has chosen you. And her son is 18 months old. And we know that's not what you were expecting, but she was absolutely adamant about working with Lifelong and finding a same-sex couple. And we think you guys would be a great match. Would you be interested? Of course. So
That's
sent
awesome.
over a photo. I know, right? Sent over a photo, and immediately, first photo, we knew that he was our son. And a couple months later, we were flying out to see him and to meet him and his birth mom. And
Aw.
I'll never forget the first moment we met him. I had anticipated him kind of being really shy and scared and not knowing what to expect. We opened the door to her apartment, and there he was in all his glory, butt naked.
I mean,
True boy
I was
form.
gonna say that's
I
a
have
pretty
Right?
three,
good
so
introduction to
Yeah.
parenting a boy. I
Yeah.
feel like I come home sometimes and I'm like, do we have clothes in this house? Like, come on,
Yep.
guys.
Yep. Yeah. So I always joke with people, I saw my son's butt before I saw his face. So, but the sweet part was, I believe that she had started um, showing him pictures of us and talking about us. And even
Oh, that's
being
so
under
smart.
2 years old, he kind of understood, a little bit about what was going on. We were going to meet each other. And we went out to get the groceries because we had brought some food to kind of have meals with her. And we were on our way out to get groceries, and he fell apart. He absolutely started bawling. He didn't want us to leave the room. So we dressed him up. I took him in my arms, and we bounced down the stairs and just had a really good time. And from there, within one day, we were dads, and he
Wild.
has never left our side since. So it's been quite the journey.
That's really
oh
amazing. I mean, I feel like it sounds like it was just such an instant connection, which is so sweet.
yeah.
It was pretty
That
great.
is really sweet. So, what was it like after that first meeting with him? Were you able to bring him home? Was there like a transition period? Tell us a little bit about that because I think that's something that a lot of people have questions about
Sure.
when possibly
Yeah,
opening up to their children.
yeah, we were even unsure as well. So after um, we said our goodbyes with his birth mother, we immediately packed up and drove from the town where she was living to a larger city so that we would have more resources available to us. And we ended up having to stay within state. And we were anticipating a week and a half to 2 weeks, maybe even longer. But it
Mhm.
turned out it was only a few days, and we were allowed to fly out because the adoption had been finalized. So we flew back home at that point, which was also quite the journey with a stroller and a car seat and airlines and delays and
Preach.
Very different
yeah,
way to travel than you were used to.
right? For sure, for sure. Luckily, he slept through the entire first flight and was just enamored by the views on the second flight. So we got
Oh,
pretty
that's
lucky.
so cute.
Yeah.
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 Oh my gosh. What was he for Halloween?
This year?
Not to, I just need to know. Yeah.
No, you're good. I'm glad you
Well,
asked
every
because I
year. I'm
wanted
just
to
kidding.
say. Well, okay, the first year, no, I'm just kidding. Um, he was an inflatable shark.
I love the inflatable
I
costumes.
know, they're so
Clark was
funny.
an inflatable dinosaur last year, and they all like Power Rangers united. They were all kind of inflatable
And they look
dinosaurs
so
from
funny.
everywhere, all kinds.
I
And they
forgot
all
about
came
that.
together. They don't even know each other, but now they do because we all picked inflatable dinosaurs to
I
be.
forgot about that because it was like Jurassic Park.
It was like Jurassic Park.
Oh my gosh! But a shark. I mean,
Shoot.
gotta find water, right? Are there other aquatic animals
That is
that are
hilarious.
inflatable?
Yeah, yeah. it was pretty funny watching him run around, and there were actually a few times he fell flat on his face because you can't walk because your legs are like this big. But
Well, in your eye hole.
I feel
yeah,
like
Like that
yeah,
big.
someone invented inflatable costumes for parents.
It's
So
so
we could
funny.
just watch our kids do
uh-huh,
dumb things.
yep,
Like,
yep.
so funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to detract. I was just dying to
No,
know
you're
after
good.
we talked
No, it's
Halloween
good.
I mean,
costumes.
it's important.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. My favorite costume, I'll tell you my favorite costume. My favorite costume that he wore, I asked him what he wanted to be, and he knew immediately, I want to be a rainbow unicorn. I was like,
Perfect.
That was
okay.
my dream costume every year, except I was also a rainbow unicorn fairy princess, which I know it sounds like a lot of
Ooh,
things, but I feel like it can be combined.
yeah. And he picked out the costume online. He put the crown on his head. He had the horn. I mean, a full thing. It was like a
Amazing.
cute little light up tutu thing. It was so
Well, we're
cute.
going to need a
So
picture of
cute.
that.
Yep.
So,
Send
Oh,
that
for
over.
sure.
yep.
For sure.
And while you're at it, just send one from every year because
Okay. I can do
Katie's
that.
interested. I'm interested.
We are very interested.
Yeah. I don't like to dress up, but I love when other people do. And I think I don't. Like when I had to go to the parade this year, I don't know if your child's school does this, but mine, they do like a parade. So you go and you stand in the cold. And this other parent was kind of complaining. I'm like, man, listen, I get it. I'm freezing out here to watch my kid walk past me for 5 seconds in a costume that I paid for, that I've already seen him in 13 times since I bought it. And then the minute this inflatable, by the way, inflatable lobster comes out, and I'm like, never mind. It's so cute. It's worth it. I'm here. I
Like,
love
life
it.
is so short. We only have 17 summers with them.
Literally, I say that all the time.
I know. It's
not,
ridiculous.
Not to go down that dark path, but
Right? So, have you maintained a relationship at all with the birth mom?
So it was planned
Since
to
you did it?
have yeah, it was planned to have a semi-open adoption.
Yeah.
And somewhat last minute, she decided that she just couldn't do it and she wanted to have a closed adoption. So we've had a closed adoption since the beginning. But through our lawyer, we have a portal where we can submit a letter and photos from the entire year, um, each year on his birthday. And
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah, it's really nice to be able to provide that to her, give her a little sense of what is he into? What sort of video games does he like? What movies and TVs does he watch? How's
yeah.
he doing academically? So it's really sweet to be able to provide that to her. Whether or not she's looking at it, that's completely up to her, right?
But
But
it's there.
Yeah.
it's there for her to access whenever she needs that moment. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's nice. So does your son ever ask about the birth mom? And if he does, do you ever, like, how do you answer those questions?
yeah. Um, Being that our son is a person of mixed race and both of us are white, it's pretty obvious that we're not one of the parents. And he does ask a lot because his friends have either a dad and a mom. He's had a friend that had two moms, but he
Mhm.
is very interested in who is my mother? What does she look like? What was she like? Why did she give me up for adoption? And we're extremely open about it within reason, right? He's an 8 year
Mhm.
old. But he has asked since about the age of 5 is when he started to ask, um, what was my mom like and why did she give me up for adoption? And what we always tell him is she loved you so much and but she knew that she could not be the parent that you needed. And so she
Mhm.
gave us the gift of being your parents. And he likes that, but it's still a struggle for him when he sees his friends who have a mom. I wish I had that connection to my mom. Um, so it's difficult conversations. And eventually, because of this conversation and other conversations we've had with him about other things, we've actually gotten him a therapist so that he can talk to another person about that journey of being an adopted child
That's
that
great.
doesn't know their birth mom. And he does ask, can I meet her? And we've always said at this time, it's not something that she is comfortable with. But when you're an adult, you're free to make that decision, and we'll be there with you and support you along that journey as much as we can.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good though. I mean, I think that you can never have enough therapy, right? And it's hard sometimes to say stuff to your parents, especially as an adopted person, just because you don't want to feel like you're letting anybody down or disappointing anyone or hurting anyone's feelings. I think that was something I always overthought growing up. So that's really lovely.
Well, yeah, and it gives them a safe space where they can say whatever they want, whatever they're feeling, and they know that it's not going anywhere, right? Like they
Yeah.
can,
And it normalizes it too, right? Like you can be like, yeah, that's totally valid to feel that way. So
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. So, what advice would you give other parents before we launch into the journey you found yourself on? Like, who's
Yeah.
starting out this journey? What advice would you give?
So I would say, and this is something that we struggled with, is allowing the process to unfold the way that it unfolds, not
Yes, that's
trying
great
to
advice.
control what happens. Early on in the process, we had a lot of control over what are we putting in our profile? What photos are we submitting into that profile? How do we talk about ourselves? We had a lot of control over that. And then you get to the point where it's time to wait for your match and you have no control at all
Mm-hmm.
Hard
until that match
transition.
happens.
Hmm.
Right. It's a very hard transition. So my advice would be to kind of allow that control to go and focus on your response and how you respond to the birth mother, how you respond to the process itself. In our situation, we had um, a difficult situation post adoption, and it was something that we had to respond to with grace and understanding, and something that was completely out of our control, but we handled it as best as we could, knowing that it was a part of the process and we would get through it. So, kind of sum it up, it would just be take it one step at a time and respond rather than react and let the process unfold on its own.
That's really good
I like
advice.
that. Respond instead of react. So, then what actually inspired you to go to life coaching? Like, how did you
Yeah.
get to that kind of decision?
So I feel like a lot of people have this story, but I may be a little misguided in that. But during COVID, during COVID, it was a nice point of reflection for me. I had been in a career for a little over 10 years and thought to myself, I really enjoy this. It is fulfilling. It is something that I get to provide people with a service. But is it what I want to give to the world? Is it utilizing a strength of mine that I'm really, really proud of?
Mm-hmm.
And after some reflection and soul searching, I really felt like I could do something that was more impactful. And through what, to be honest, through Instagram ads, coaching just kind of fell into my lap. And
Maybe the universe was sending you a sign.
I know, right? So I started taking courses. I have accreditations through some classes that I've taken. I'm working on getting my ACC through the International Coaching Federation. Put all that together, and it was finally time to like figure out what do I want to do with this coaching. And I knew I wanted to work in the queer space,
Mm-hmm.
and I just didn't know where. So at first it was like, I'll just do everything. I'll help whomever comes my way. But it sounded so daunting. So I knew I needed to narrow it down. It just kind of, in conversations with my husband, he said, out of all of the things that are options, the one area that sticks out to me is the adoption journey that we went on. And
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I had a coach when I was going through that. And I thought, you know
Oh,
what? I do too. And I wish that I could do that for other people. He's like, you can. You're a great coach and you can do this. So that's kind of what led me from coaching into coaching for people who are queer and want to become parents. So yeah.
yeah, I love that. So you would say your primary clients are in the queer community trying to pursue an adoption and you're just kind of there. I feel like almost like a midwife, like helping them through
Yeah.
not a pregnancy directly, I guess, but like someone's pregnancy.
Do you help with other family planning too, or are you primarily in the adoption
Oh, that's a great
space?
question.
Yeah, I am primarily in the adoption space since that's what I know the best, but I do
Right,
help
right.
Sure.
others navigate other forms of becoming parents because there are so many options out there. So, yeah.
So talk to me, what do you feel are the benefits to working with a life coach during the adoption process? You know, like what do you wish you would have gotten out of it, and what do you feel you're providing to your clients now?
Yeah, any unique approach?
Yeah.
I think the thing that we wish we had gotten out of the process that I think a coach can step in is like you were saying, it's almost like a midwife, somebody there holding your hand, helping you breathe. I honestly don't know what a midwife does other than being there
I
and
mean, that's
supporting
what I
you.
think midwife does too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, they're like a birthing coach. So
right.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing as a life coach, honestly.
I shouldn't share the rest of the things I think
I
she
had
should.
so yeah.
Oh, good. So
Yeah.
you can take over with that.
Yeah.
But I understand. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of like the idea of having someone that not just supporting you medically, but supporting you emotionally.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and I think that makes sense for you. You were by yourself a lot because, you know, at the time your husband was in the military.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just a really hard thing you had to go through by yourself. And I feel like with adoption, it can be so isolating. You talk about that all the time about how isolating adoption can be because a lot of people who haven't been through it just don't know
They
what
just
it
don't understand,
feels
so they don't
like.
know how to
They just ask
support
for
either.
updates, and that can be stressful too.
Yeah.
Right, right. One of the things that I tell people too, one of the stories I say is, right after we met our son, we were immediately dads. And it's funny, the first night his birth mom said, how do you feel about spending the night with him or him spending the night with you? And we were like, well, we were planning on sitting in the hot tub and having one last conversation without being dads, but sure,
You're like, we were doing our last night of freedom night.
We were hoping to sleep
right?
in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Little
But
staycation.
we were just kind of thrown into being dads. And I had done some preparatory emotional work on myself, but my husband was just so like caught up in the moment. And it didn't hit him until the next morning. Like, we're literally dads now. And we have to take care of this other human being. And
Yeah.
so we ended up calling our therapist, but he didn't really have any sort of connection to the adoption process, or at the time he wasn't a dad.
Hmm.
Excuse me. At the time he wasn't a dad. So it was difficult for him to know what to say and how to help. And that's one thing that I'm so excited to be able to do is be there for those people who need that additional support throughout the process that understands firsthand what you're going through.
Well, and what are
Yeah.
some common fears or questions or challenges that families bring to you that you handle when working with a family?
One of the biggest questions I get is, am I ready to be a parent? And then the second one
Oh, it's
is,
such a big question.
yeah, it's huge. Like, is this right for me? And we do go through some processes with that. The other one is from a queer lens, does society want me to be a parent?
Yeah.
That's
And
interesting. Yeah.
And my
yeah,
reaction to that, I guess, probably, right? Like, can I deal? Because I feel like even when people are trying to decide on different, you know, boundaries during this process and what they're willing to be
mm,
open to, it's all also you understanding how the world is going to view you and whether or not you're capable of responding to that or dealing with that,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Are
yeah.
you capable of, and how should I, you know? And like going back to what you said, like what are some tools to help me respond and not react?
Yeah.
Because,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah. So we go through some exercises pretty early in the process. If they're unsure about whether or not they want to be a parent, they're just kind of exploring this idea. I take them through a journey that I call Discover Your Why. And it's,
Hmm.
why do I want to be a parent? What kind of parent do I want to be? What sort of values do I want to instill in my kid? And it takes it away from all of the logistical, the costs, the timeline, the how is it going to work? Am I going to make it happen? To what's in my heart and how do I want to attend to that? And it puts in a root, a grounding moment for us to look and reflect back on while we're making decisions throughout the process. So it just kind of helps them answer that question of, am I ready? Is this the right time? And am I going to worry a lot about what society is going to think of me as an adoptive parent? But then you add that extra layer of a queer individual or couple being a parent as well. So,
And because I'm like Jon Stewart, I always read the book before the interview. So I was doing a little bit of research and I thought it was really interesting. I read that you said somewhere you were kind of explaining the difference between someone who's trying to kind of get help fixing their life as opposed to somebody that kind of is helping people just realize their own goals, not kind of giving feedback about whether or not they should be achieved in the first place, because that's not your place, but instead to help them understand how they can achieve that. And I just thought that was really well said. If you wouldn't mind kind of saying it much better than whatever it is that I just did.
no, that's okay.
But I mean, I'm trying to remember the gist of it, but I just thought that was so great and I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. One of the things that we like to talk about in life coaching is the differences between therapy, consulting, and mentoring and life coaching. If you
Yes.
think about therapy, and we talked a little bit about therapy, it's looking at your past and your present. How did I get from where I was to where I am today? Whether that's trauma or family issues or I was adopted, to where am I now and how is this happening? That's what a therapist kind of helps guide you through, is figuring all of that out. A consultant or a mentor is going to help you, um, and excuse me, a consultant or a mentor, you see them as an expert in their field and you're looking to them for advice. You want answers directly from them because you know they're going to give you the best path. There might be
Almost
some
more the
like,
role of the agency, I feel like, in adoption.
Yeah.
yeah, it's that here's what's going to happen, here's what you would need to do. There's not as much decision making on your part, but
Mm-hmm.
there could be a little bit. Where life coaching comes into play is you're looking at, where am I at now and where do I want to be? I need somebody to help me get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And as a life coach, we're not telling you how to get there. We may guide you and say, this is one path that you could take. But what I like to say is every path that's available to you, whichever one you pick is the correct path. And that's kind of where the life coach kind of maybe puts you and helps you navigate which of those paths you're going to pick. And then we have our next step. How do I get to that next step? So there's a lot of autonomy. There's a lot of decision on the client's part, rather than just being up to another person, if that makes
Well, I like
sense.
that too because I feel like those could be emotional goals too, especially for people going through adoption, where they could be like, I want to get to a place where I'm not anxious all the time about the waiting period, so how can we get there?
Yeah.
Let's work through it. Let's troubleshoot.
Yeah. And that's another beauty of life coaching is clients will come to me with a variety of different, as you said, goals. One
Mm-hmm.
person may be like, I need to figure out which path to parenthood I want to take. Is it adoption? Is it surrogacy? Is it IVF? All of those different options. Whereas another person, like you're saying, I just want to feel comfortable with the fact that I'm about to be a parent and what is this journey going to look like? How do I get from being uncomfortable to being comfortable? Okay, great. Let's figure out how we're going to get there. And we'll take each step one at a time. And through one on one coaching and individual communications outside of those one on one coaching sessions, we're able to pivot if we need to. It doesn't have to be so rigid as well.
Yeah, I like that. If something's working, we go with it. If it's not working, try something else.
Well, and if
Exactly.
somebody's hesitant about wanting to try coaching, what would you say to maybe encourage them that this would be beneficial for them, and how would it be beneficial for them?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I would say at first it's going to sound like another thing to put on your plate. You're already trying to. Sorry, the dog is cracking me up. The
No,
growling
I'm
is
like trying to keep it
hysterical.
together.
I thought if I
She's
picked her up
such a potato.
and make her quieter, but
I
it just
love it.
it just amplified the snort.
No, when you moved her to like wake her up so she'd stop snoring, she was like
like I've erred.
Wait, are we communicating? Look at her. She looked right at me. I think
She looked right at you.
Look at her. She's like, you don't speak Frenchy, do you? And I'm like, I do, actually.
It's like Dory speaking whale. Congratulations.
It is exactly like Dory speaking. That makes me
I
think
love
when
it.
we were at Disneyland and we kept doing whale noise to find each other.
We're weird.
We're
I love that.
We are
I
very
love that.
close.
My favorite
Okay.
is when Amanda's braying in the background and then you can just hear everyone ignore her and she just goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess no one knows how to speak whale anymore."
Well, he like left me hanging. We're like doing whale noises to each other the whole Disney weekend. I do it one time on video, and everyone's just like, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
I was eating popcorn.
Well, this has
Shit.
took a turn. So
I'm really happy that you mentioned Marley snorting though, because I was trying very hard to keep it
yeah.
together.
So was I. My eyes.
Oh, it's okay.
There's gonna have to be a yeah.
But I don't want it to look like I'm amused by serious things you're saying because I'm interested and it's very important. But this one over here is just like so disrespectful.
Honestly, Marley.
It's all good.
Anyway, so if someone's hesitant about coaching,
Yes, I
and
love this question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It adds another layer to the plate. It adds another layer to the mix of everything else that you've got going on. We have work, we have life, potentially we have other kids, and
Yeah.
it's just one more person that I have to deal with. And what I like to tell people is it's gonna feel like that. But my job, as we've discussed already, is to help you feel at ease about all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Take away the burden of the stress and the emotional toil that you're going to go through during this process and just make that a little bit easier. Maybe it's navigating and giving you tools and resources so that you feel more comfortable with what's about to happen. So it's going to feel like there's more to do when really I'm here to make it less for you to do. And
Yeah.
each step of that process, you're going to gain the clarity, you're going to gain confidence, you're going to have more control over what's going to happen. And I'm just there to help you make those decisions.
So how can people find you?
Yeah.
If they
Where are
wanted to
you?
learn, if they wanted to learn more about what you have to offer and
Yeah.
get in touch with you about possibly helping them, where would they go?
Yeah, give us a
What's the
plug.
name of your company? I don't think we've even said it.
We're ready.
So
Give us a
then-
plug.
That's probably
I want to
important.
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
All
Great
right,
place
so
to
the big
start.
plug. Yeah, my company's called Proud Life Coaching, and you can find me on most social platforms. YouTube's my primary. I do a lot of posting on YouTube, lots of shorts and long form informational videos on YouTube. But I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Like I said, I post daily. But I also have a website, so if you're looking for more information about my personal journey or about me, or just coaching in general and what do we do? How does it work? What is the science behind coaching? And I could nerd out about the science of coaching too, but you can find all of that information on the website as well. And that's
Awesome.
proudlifecoaching.com.
Perfect.
That's easy. We love
Yep.
that.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. We really appreciate you sharing your story, and also
Of course.
I really think some of our families could benefit. I think sometimes, honestly, after talking to you, I feel like sometimes the coaching would be more beneficial during the adoption process than even your regular therapist, you know?
Well, yeah, and I think therapy has its own,
It has its
benefits,
place.
but it's different. So it's great that you explain the difference between them. But I think,
Yeah, but this is
Yep.
so focused and special.
well, and for
specialized.
some people may be apprehensive about therapy because they just don't like to be told, what what they should be doing. And so yep.
She means that it's directed.
Yeah. And so I think coaching can be nice and it almost feels like you're kind of working with somebody, and that can
Yeah,
be
like
really
you have someone
nice.
on your
Just
team.
it feels more supportive in a moment like that because you've
Yeah.
also gone
Yeah.
through it, and I think so. There's so
Yeah.
many benefits there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our families would. Well, if they don't, they should. No, I'm joking.
But we thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, one of the things that I tell my clients that ask, is it okay that I'm in therapy while I'm working with you? Like, please be in therapy. Don't give up therapy just because
You said
you're a
it.
life coach.
Oh, no, I mean,
Not like in the sense of like, Oh my
No,
God,
we
I
should
can't
all
handle
be in
your
therapy.
emotional.
Honestly, everybody
Yes.
should be in therapy.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
Well, it's been really nice talking to everybody.
Yeah, now she's like, I'm out.
I'm just kidding.
No, but there's a
I'll unpack
there's
it
a
someday.
difference between them. So that's why I love
There
that you
is.
said that,
Yeah.
because I think
I think I would be
therapy
more
is
open to life coaching, honestly.
But honestly, not to, stop people that are in therapy from not doing this, because it's separate, it's different.
Totally.
They work
Yes.
together. They can work together,
They
and I think
definitely
that's
work together.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well,
We
thank
really do
you.
appreciate you. Thank you
Of
so much for
course.
taking time out.
Of
And
course.
don't forget to send the Halloween pictures,
Yeah,
because
the unicorn rainbow.
well, I want to
Yes,
see the
the rainbow
inflatable one,
unicorn.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, he was an
And if you have a
inflatable
video of him
shark.
falling on his face,
Oh yeah, we'll take that.
Oh
too.
my gosh, I wish I did. I wish I did.
it's like, aren't those the moments? Do you ever, you know, because it's 8, so you've had many years to think this. I'm like, if only I had a camera in my house.
Oh,
because
that's why we have Ring
Mhm.
cameras everywhere. It's like
honestly, but there needs to be Ring cameras in the home, because there's so many dorky things that they say and do
yeah.
that you're like, even explaining it doesn't do it justice. I want to be able to like rewatch multiple times so I can make fun of them over and over again. Like, this can't just be
Yes.
a one shot.
Uh-huh.
I gotta do the. I gotta.
Well,
What if no one's around?
And
You're
I
trying
want to play it
relay
at
the
their
story.
wedding. Like, you could play this at his wedding, him falling on his face as an inflatable
Oh,
shark.
that makes me think I should be recording
Oh yeah.
Jordan more often.
Honestly, seriously. So, anyways, we really do appreciate you,
Yes,
though. But
thank
don't
you so
forget to
much.
send the pictures. And
Yeah, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us.
yeah, thank you so much.
Kitty, oh.